This is just a snapshot taken by somebody else of me and Joe Strummer from The Clash. I wasn't living in Los Angeles anymore, but I went there to photograph an album cover for a Russian bluegrass band. And I ended up at this party at a bar, and there's a guy named Tony Brown that plays piano. He used to play with Elvis Presley many years ago. He was at this party, and it was just really crowded. Like, we're all just pressed together. And he goes, "Jim, do you know Joe Strummer?" And he kind of like turned me, and there's like right there. And I said, "Hey, Joe Strummer." So anyway, the party ended, and me and Joe Strummer were at the bar sitting together talking. And I had, done all these old, lived in Nashville, done a lot of these old country singers and country musicians, and he loved those stories. So we're sitting there getting drunk, talking. And I finally asked him, "But, what are you doing in town, Joe?" He goes, "Oh, man, you wouldn't believe it. I'm tomorrow going to sing a duet with Johnny fucking Cash at Rick Rubin." That's when Rick Rubin was doing the Johnny Cash recordings. He goes, "Man, you should come over." I remember saying, "You're Joe Strummer, but are you sure you can even invite me over to Johnny Cash?" I'd already met Johnny Cash, but anyway. He goes, "Yeah, man, come over." So the next day I woke up very hungover, and he drew this little map on a piece of paper that looked like a postage stamp. It was like, 2 lines. Somehow I found it up in the Hollywood Hills, beautiful old Hollywood actress mansion from the 1920s. And that's where Rick Rubin lives and had a studio. So I went up, buzzed the gate, and I drive around to the back of the building, and there's this garage. And Joe Strummer walks out. "Oh, man, you made it." So I walk in, and there's Rick Rubin's Corvette, which you see in this picture, covered with all these pieces of paper. And I said, "What you doing, Joe?" He goes, "Well, I'm trying to write a song for Johnny Cash. I already did the singing with him, but I want him to record one of my songs." And I said, "Oh, cool." So we smoked a joint. We're sitting in there, and he goes, "I'm trying to write this song that is about a man like Johnny Cash, but one that Johnny Cash could sing himself. So it's kind of vague about who it's about." He goes, you know all this. You're from the South, Jim. I give me some words." So we're kind of getting high, and I'm thinking of all this kind of Southern terminology, but I give him a line, "King Cotton's down the road." He goes, "Oh, that's good. It's good." And he writes it down. Well, anyway, that's a much longer story, but this is the day he ends up using it in a song. But this was that day. This is in the garage at Rick Rubin's. Spent about 6 hours there. I can't remember who took this picture. Maybe Joe Strummer's wife with my camera.